In 2026, we all know that no one's writing code manually anymore because of AI. So you tell AI or Claude Code to build a full stack Aptos application with a single prompt, hoping you can one-shot the whole thing, but you see that the AI has hallucinated, is using outdated syntax for move, the move contract doesn't compile, is using outdated SDK for wallet integration, and the entire application is broken. So you end up spending hours fixing the broken code that AI has written for you. So that's why I created Aptos Agent Skills. Aptos Agent Skills is a repository that contains a collection of agent skills that specializes on Aptos. So it makes any general purpose LLMs an expert in Aptos. In this video, we're going to go over what those skills are, what you'll be able to do with it, and how you can use it in your project to build a functioning Aptos application with AI using these skills. Now, first things first, what are skills? Well, Agent Skills is an open standard that gives agents new capabilities and expertise. So it's folders of instructions, scripts, and resources that agents can discover and use to do things more accurately and efficiently. Now, the reason why skills is so killer for Aptos and in general blockchain application is that blockchains are relatively new. So agents or AI are not really trained on smart contract languages, especially Move. It's only been around for 3 years now. So when we have a way to give our AI these expert knowledges and instructions to make sure that they do things in a certain way, we can help AI generate much more accurate Aptos Move code and overall a functioning Aptos application. And really, Agent Skills is nothing special. It's just an MD file that has instructions for AI, and AI reads them when necessary. So they take this approach called progressive disclosure, meaning that it will only read these skills when necessary. So it's not going to be loaded onto the context all the time, because we all know context is very expensive and limited. So it's very smart, and it really helps AI write better Aptos code. So that's what Aptos Agent Skills are for. So here's the Aptos Agent Skills. It's an open source repository. Anyone can read them, see what's in this repository to see how it works. But basically, it's a collection of AI-powered skills for building a full stack Aptos application. So currently there are 10 skills. We plan to add more to this repository to make AI better at writing Aptos code. But currently, it's focused on writing accurate and secure Move smart contracts. We also have some skills for auditing the smart contract and making sure that it follows best practices, generating tests for your Move contract, and also just an overall full stack application scaffolding using our boilerplate Aptos full stack application template. So now let's take a look at how you can actually use these skills to create your own Aptos project. So first, you should open up your terminal, your favorite one. I'm using Ghosty and for this example, and I've created a directory called Habit Tracker. And this is where I'm going to create a habit tracking app where it's going to track that I drink at least 2 liters of water every day. Now, the fun part of this application is that I'm going to stake some APT in the beginning of the challenge. Maybe I'll do a 30-day challenge. And if I don't have a 75% success rate, I lose that APT to the general pool. Maybe that could be used later on to donate somewhere, or it can be used for something else. But the point here is that I have some stake in this challenge. And if I succeed the challenge, I get the APT back. If I don't, I lose the APT. So that's the fun part for this application. And I'm going to try to one-shot this application using Aptos Agent Skills. Now, I played around with these skills a couple of times, and I found a workflow that generated the best results. And that workflow is to create a boilerplate template first, and then use the skills and prompt the AI to build the application. Now, what's different from just prompting right away to an empty directory is that it works off of some kind of a structure first. Now, when it comes to building a full stack application, there are some recommended paths for building an Aptos application. For example, if you're building a web application, you should use the wallet adapter to seamlessly integrate Aptos wallets and keyless logins into your application. Now, if I just prompt the AI to just build a full stack application, sometimes it will try to just manually integrate these wallets, and therefore it doesn't support all of the wallets that are on Aptos, and sometimes it just breaks the application. So I like to scaffold the project first and then use the skills and prompt the AI to build the application. I'm going to do npx create Aptos dApp at latest. That's going to start an interactive session to bootstrap a boilerplate Aptos template. So I'm going to say habit tracker for my project name. I'm going to choose a full stack project, and I'm going to choose the boilerplate template for this. I'm not going to use serve to keep it simple. I'll choose the server side framework, and I'll choose the testnet network. And it's asking me to use, do I want to use an API key? I'll say yes, because I don't want to get rate limited. Now you can easily get an Aptos API from Geomi, which is an infrastructure tooling that we have. So all you need to do is go to geomi.dev, log in, create a new project. I'll name this habit tracker. Let's go to that product here, click on API key. I'll just say my API key 1. For network, I'll choose testnet, and I'll create the API key. There we go. Let me copy that key secret, head over to the terminal, paste that in, and there we go. I don't want to make any changes. Cool. Now that is going to scaffold a boilerplate full stack template. And what's really nice is that it comes with wallet integration. It uses the wallet adapter to support all of the supported wallets on Aptos. It has a basic example of using the TypeScript SDK to send transactions on the Aptos blockchain, and also has a very basic messaging app on Aptos. So it's a really good starting point. Now this should have created the habit tracker project inside of this directory. I know it's confusing because I named both of them habit tracker, but the create Aptos dApp is going to create the project inside of the directory. So let's cd into the habit tracker app, which contains the full stack application. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is install skills inside of this directory. And to do that, head over to the Aptos Agent Skills repository, and inside the README file, you'll see this command right here, npx skills add. So I'm going to copy that skill, head over to the terminal, paste that in, and run that command. Now that's going to take you to an interactive session. Let's select all of these skills under Aptos Agent Skills. I'm using Claude Code. I will install it on a project level and not globally. But if you're lazy, you can just install it globally, and you should have it available in all of your projects. And then I'll use the recommended method for installation. And I'll proceed with the installation, and there you go. That's how easy it is to install these skills. Great, so skills are loaded inside of this directory. Now let's launch a Claude session. So I'm inside of Claude, and this is where the fun part begins. I'm going to use plan mode. It's always nice to use plan mode for Claude Code because it will ask you a bunch of questions to make sure that it has all the information it needs to build the application that you want. So let me prompt this Claude to create the habit tracker app. So here's my terrible prompt. Hey Claude, build me a habit tracker Aptos app that tracks my daily water consumption. Let users create 30 days challenge, and for each challenge, users have to stake 1 APT. If the user has over 75% success rate, they can claim their APT back. If they fail, the user loses the staked APT, and the app creator, which is me, can claim the APT. Use Aptos Move smart contracts to implement this. Don't make any assumptions. Interview me to get all of the required information. All right, let's see how well Claude does this. Now I have it in plan mode, so Claude is going to investigate, research, read into the agent.md file, and go through the workflows. So let's see what it does. Okay, so Claude has read through the scaffolded project, and it's going to ask me a couple of questions to build this application. It's asking me, how should a user log their daily water consumption? Should they just mark, I drank enough water today, or should they enter a specific amount? Just a simple check-in will do. Can a user run multiple challenges at the same time or one active? Let's just do one at a time. When can a user check in for a day? Should there be any time restriction to prevent cheating? Currently only. Who is the app creator that claims the forfeited APT? It should be the contract deployer. And submit the answer. All right, more questions. Should the front end be a complete redesign of the current boilerplate UI, or should you keep the existing layout, header, wallet connection? Full redesign. Let's see what you come up with. What should happen when a challenge's 30 days are over? Should the user manually claim their refund, or should the contract state just reflect the outcome and then claim anytime? After 30 days, users should be able to claim whenever they want. So manual claim anytime. Which Aptos network should this target? Let's do testnet. Should the 75% success threshold be hard-coded or configurable by the admin? Let's just hard-code it for now. This is a simple application. All right, should users be able to see other users' challenge? Personal only. Let's keep it simple for now. Should the stake amount always be exactly 1 APT? Should users be able to choose? Let users choose. Let's make it fun. What should the full redesign UI look like? Which of these layouts do you prefer? Let's do calendar-centric. All right, so I think that's all of the questions that it's going to ask me, and it's going to come up with a plan now. All right, beautiful. So Claude has came up with a plan. Let's take a quick look at it. So it's going to build a 30-day water consumption habit tracker on Aptos. Great. Some requirements, check-in concurrency, time rule. All right, so phase 1, they're going to write the smart contract. That's great. Showing me all these details. I'm going to really vibe it for this tutorial here, just to keep the time short. But usually you should go through these plans and make sure that everything looks the way you want it to be. But, you know, I'm actually just curious how well Claude just does it without me manually kind of changing all these information. So I'm just gonna vibe it and tell it to auto accept. So let's see what Claude comes up with. I'll come back when Claude is finished building the habit tracker application. All right, so it seems like Claude is done. So it worked for about 10 minutes. Let's see what it has done. So it seems like build is succeeding and move contract is compiling. And it implemented the smart contract, it created the front-end wiring and front-end components. Great. So let's actually try and publish our contract. But first, I would like to see the created front end. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm opening this project inside a cursor. Make it bigger for you guys. And let's try running npm run dev. And there you go. That's the created application. So right now, the contract is not yet deployed. So let's go ahead and deploy our contract. Now, since we are engineering with AI, let's see if Claude can figure out how to publish our contract as well. Cool. Publish the contract. Now, I assume this should fail because I don't think we've configured a default Aptos wallet to use to publish the contract, and also that wallet is not funded. So we'll need to do some steps to actually get it published. But let's see what Claude says here. Yep, so it's saying error indicates the publisher account address is not set in .env. The sandbox prevents me from reading .env. So I'll need to set that up. So one thing you want to do is we need to set up a default Aptos wallet for this project. So I'm going to do Aptos init. So if you don't have the Aptos CLI installed, I'll leave a link in the description on how to install the Aptos CLI. But I'm using the CLI here to initialize a default profile. So I'm going to use testnet for this account. I don't have a private key, so just create one for me. And there we go. It has created the profile by default. Then it's telling me, hey, this account is not funded, so go to this link. I'll do that. And it should have your address already preloaded. So just click mint here, and there we go. I've minted 2 APT for this created account. Now, running this command will create this .aptos folder, which has the configuration for our wallet. And this contains the private key and the public key. Now, remember to never share this, just letting you know, but we need to copy these values into .env so that we can run our script for publishing the contract. So we need the account address and the private key. So let's copy those over. And the account address, you don't need to put the 0x in front of it. It will just handle it. And there we go. And I guess we can just run npm run publish here. That's odd. It should have it. Oh, I think I need to do npm run move publish, right? Yep. npm run move publish. There we go. That's it. I'll say yes. Yes. And there we go. Our contract is deployed. Now, the app should work. So let's go to the deployed app. I have a wallet connected for some reason, but let's connect the wallet. I'll use Petra wallet here. Approve. And let's try testing it. All right, I'll stake 1 APT. Duration is 30 days. And the threshold is 75%. Start challenge. And it fails. Of course it fails. So it's saying hex characters are invalid. Input string must contain hex characters in even length. Okay, let's copy that error and go back to. So that's done. I published the contract, but when I try to create the challenge, I get this error. Fix it. Aha, so it seems like the Aptos SDK has some issues. So the function argument, it was expecting a string, but it was recognizing as an hex. So let's try running the developer server again. Wallet is connected, staking 1 APT, start challenge, and there we go. It's working. So it's calling the create challenge function. So let's approve that. And our challenge is created. And this view looks beautiful, actually. So it's showing me the days and the streaks, the success rate. Let's try saying I drank water today. Great, so that's calling the check-in function. Approve. And there you go. It updates the front end. So I get a nice check mark here. I'm seeing the streak, success rate, and the staked APT. Wow, it's working. Now, obviously, I'll have to do more thorough testing to make sure that this works the way I expect it to work. But you can see the power of Aptos skills here. You know, without skills, usually it would take multiple reattempts and reprompting to make sure that the contract was written with up-to-date syntax and the SDKs. I mean, we had to do one iteration to change that hex string error. But overall, it did a really great job of one-shotting this application with the skills that I've created. So if you want to try this yourself, I'll leave a link in the description that takes you to this Aptos Agent Skills repository, and you can install it in your project with this command, or if you prefer a different AI model compared to Claude Code, you can do that as well. If you're someone who wants to kind of get your hands dirty building an application on Aptos, or if you're already an existing Aptos developer and you just want to accelerate your workflow, I highly recommend you try out the Aptos skills. This is still, I think, in the first iteration, so obviously we need to do a lot more work on it and add more skills and improve the skills that we have already listed there. But I'd love to hear your feedback, what your experience is like. What kind of skills you want to see. Leave them in the comments and I'll try to get them implemented for you guys. And this repository is completely open source. So you can make a PR, just create issues for skills that you want to see. communicate with me via PRs and issues on this repository so that we can make this repository the best skills repository for Aptos. Now, that being said, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date with all of these videos. We're going to be releasing a lot more agentic engineering tips and tricks for building Aptos applications, and we're going to be posting a lot more on this channel. So I hope to see you in our next video.